This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
Yes, we know it's only been a few days since we last saw each other, and yet so many new and exciting things to share with you. Glad to have you along for another Farm Monitor. Formal introductions, I am Ray.
And I'm Kenny, and this is what's coming up on the show. Straight ahead, now that the Freedom to Farm Act has overcome the first hurdle in the Georgia General Assembly, what's next? And if it does pass, why not every farm would be protected? Also on the show, in less than a decade, they've seen an incredible amount of growth, but have never lost sight of their core family values. John HOLCOMB profiles Echols timber harvesting and its owner, Trevor Crosby. And then later, it's the heartwarming story of DONACIN Dairy in LIZELLA, from their continued success with HOLSTEIN cows to owner Benjamin Newberry discovering his new calling. What he feels was a case of being at the right place at the right time. These stories and so much more start right now on the Farm Monitor.
With agriculture being the largest driving force behind Georgia's economy, it's imperative that a farmer's land has protection against frivolous lawsuits by their neighbors. Well, a big step has been taken to provide that assurance as the Freedom to Farm Act has officially passed through the Georgia House. Damon Jones breaks it all down for us.
It was a major victory for agriculture at the state capitol as House legislators passed the Freedom to Farm Act by a vote of 102 to 62. While it was just the first step in a long process, it is an encouraging sign after years of hard work was put into crafting this bill and garnering support.
It was huge. This has been our top priority. It generated from our membership, came up through the counties, through convention, had unanimous support, and it's something that we've worked on for the past few years. It has had our membership behind it the entire way.
Organizations like Farm Bureau and Agribusiness Council and Poultry Federation, all our ag groups, Peanuts, have been after wanting this bill for several years just to shore up our legal standing for farms. And so it made a lot of good sense, and I was glad to get it over the finish line in the House. So we got a long way to go.
Now the bill heads over to the state Senate, where Representative Dickey is confident it will also have plenty of backers.
Well, I had a lot of good support in the House from a lot of friends of agriculture, and it'll be well received over in the Senate when we get there. I know the governor is for this Freedom to Farm bill, and so we'll see how it goes over in the Senate.
While this bill would allow farmers to continue day-to-day operations without the threat of litigation, it doesn't provide a safeguard for those who aren't in total compliance.
If they're not operating according to all laws, permits, local zoning regulations, they don't get this protection. This is only for the ones that are doing everything right, the way they're supposed to, and in the places that they're supposed to, that will be granted this protection.
While opponents of this bill argue a lack of nuisance suits indicate the current law is working, that's not the complete picture, as many never make it to court due to financial limitations from the farmer.
You don't hear about as many of them because a lot of them get settled, and that's the problem, is not necessarily the final one that gets determined by a jury and gets a windfall settlement or judgment, but it's the ones that have to go through the process of hiring lawyers, defending themselves, settling because they can't afford to continue to defend themselves on a process that can be drug out over months and years.
With more people and businesses looking to move out of the city and into rural areas due to rising property values, protecting farms that have been around for generations is more important than ever for the future of the industry.
This is important because it really protects all of our farmers, large and small, urban and rural, row crop and livestock, everybody across the board. It provides some certainty and protection for the future.
Georgia's changing. The demographics are changing. Urban sprawl is coming toward agriculture, and we just want to be prepared and have the tools for our farmers in place if things do change.
Reporting from Fulton County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Meantime, March, of course, National Peanut Month, and keeping with tradition, the Georgia Peanut Commission made their way to Atlanta for Peanut Butter and Jelly Day at the state capitol. However, things looked a little different this year due to COVID as they gave out Uncrustables donated by Smuckers instead of their typical fried PB&Js. Still, as Georgia Peanut Commission Chairman Joe Boddiford says, the goal remains the same.
Well, the Peanut Commission's charge is research, promotion, and education. And we want to get out a good message about peanuts and peanut butter, and so this is one of the activities that we can do, and certainly we have legislative activities that we need attention as we go through the session. But we've done this for 25 years, I would say, at least, and it's just another function that we can do to help keep peanuts in the forefront of people's minds.
For Trevor Crosby, the logging business is something that's been instilled in him since birth, so much so that 8 years ago, when he was just 20 years old, he decided to start his own logging operation. It was a leap of faith that's proven to be a rewarding one, as Crosby is already making a name for himself in just a short amount of time. John Holcomb has that story.
Down in Echols County, this timber business, Echols Timber Harvesting, is busy at work harvesting and loading trees that will be headed to the mill. It's a tough job with early mornings and long days, but with hard work, this family operation has made quite the name for themselves.
This is a family-based operation that we started in, had the opportunity to start in March of 2014. Very small operation, started out with just 3 people, me, my dad, and one other guy. Didn't really know where it was going, and put in some work, and a few years later we began to grow. We began to acquire some trucks and some more equipment and more people, and before you knew it, we woke up one day and we was a pretty decently sized operation all of a sudden.
Since their start 8 years ago, they primarily work to harvest planted pines and pulpwood in Echols County and surrounding areas.
Generally it's more like crop trees, so to speak. It's these 16, 17-year-old stands of wood that they're ready to turn out and clear cut so they can hurry up and plant more trees, and that's what we get into a lot. We sort our pulpwood, which is your diseased trees, your fork trees, basically your trash. Then we sort out our logs. Chip and saw logs is your smaller end that they cut 2x4s out of, 4x4s, 1x4s. Your smaller end stuff.
And just like any other sector of ag, they have quite their fair share of challenges. Crosby says the biggest is high input and machine cost, coupled with stagnant prices.
All this stuff has went up, and yet the probably the most challenging part is you don't get paid no more for it. If they could just, pay just a little bit more per ton to the logger, it wouldn't even really be a raise. And what I mean by that is it not being a raise, everything else is raised so high, all we'd be doing is playing catch up. When you're trying to buy a piece of equipment for over $300,000 now, that same piece of equipment 10 years ago was $230,000.
Despite the challenges they face, though, they love what they do. And being a family business that looks after one another, one thing's for sure. Things may get tough, but failure isn't an option.
If we don't put in the hard work and put in the extra hours, there ain't nobody else gonna hand you no money at the end of the week. So it's up to us, it's up to these guys. They make it all happen. I'm stressed at times with having just to kind of orchestrate everything, keep the bills flowing, keep everything going. They're the ones out here that's making it all possible. And we all are. Each one of us has a major part in what we do. Major roles here is played by all these people out here, and it's an overwhelming feeling to know when you stop long enough to realize that you've mainly got all but maybe 3 people out here that's your family out of 10 people or so. So it's a great feeling.
Reporting in Statenville for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
John, thanks so much. Now, when we come back, a special look at the unsung heroes of the rodeo business, the stock producers, and the father and son team here in Georgia who's been doing it for a quarter century.
Hi, my name is Lori Bean. I am the founder of Georgia Jams here in Griffin, Georgia. So when I started Georgia Jams back in 2012, it was with a bag of muscadines and the Ball Blue Book of Canning that my dad gave me. I said, you know, I think I want to try my hand at making jelly, and he said, have at it. He gave me my great-grandma's tools and that Ball Blue Book, and I taught myself to make jelly. And from there, the love of Georgia was always here in my heart. I grew up in Georgia, and as the seasons turn, the fruits come along. We make now almost 25 low sugar fruit spreads using everything that we grow here in Georgia, so that's our focus. There are a couple of exceptions. Of course, we don't grow cranberries here, but you have to have those on the holiday table. As the business grew, then so did our list of farmers that we work with. So we are always expanding and looking for new farmers to grow the crops that we use. And we've been so grateful over the years to meet so many good people in the agriculture industry here in Georgia. And my mom and I have driven all over this state to pick fruit or to meet the farmers who grow the fruit that we use in our fruit spreads. And we don't do much picking anymore because our organization's a little big for that. We need a lot of fruit. I used to pick all the peaches that went in our spreads, but we sell a lot of peach spreads now. So we no longer pick, but we buy. And we've formed relationships with these farmers over the years, and we're still expanding. We added 2 new farms in the past 12 months that have increased our Georgia grown supplier list, and we're very proud of that. Canning is just one of those things that people probably saw their grandparents do. And it isn't necessarily something that's been popular in the past 10, 15 years, but it's certainly making a resurgence. We hope to continue to bring more people in. I would love to be able to teach classes, but most importantly, we want more people to be able to eat Georgia Jams. We want these low sugar fruit spreads to be all over the country. We're already on the West Coast and all the way up to the north and scaling through the Midwest. We just want more people to be able to enjoy Georgia Jams, and that's our goal.
The look in their eyes says it all. A look that could send chills down the spines of even the best, most experienced riders the sport has to offer. A look that is typically followed by violent, bone-jarring, and sometimes bone-breaking movements. It's a look Charlie Lowry has seen too many times to count.
Sometimes you'll have a bull, and the first few times you buck him, you'll think, man, this is going to be the best one I ever had. And he might be, and then he might go the other way. You know, same as a football player. You know, you see guys in high school and you think how good they're going to be, but they never make it to the pro level.
We're looking for athletic ability in the livestock. You know, it's genetics, just like race horses or beef cattle, or, you know, I mean, if you're going to raise a beef cow for, you know, to sell yearlings off of, you're going to want a good bull that produces good, you know, good meat and good calves. And same deal with the bucking bulls. If you're going to raise bucking bulls, you want them out of, you don't want a Hereford bull and Angus cow and going to try to make a bucking bull out of it. You know, you want stock that's produced bucking bulls, and the bloodlines have got to be a really big deal over the last 15 or 20 years, and it's the difference with the bulls and the horses. The bulls, you don't have near as much time invested in them to know if they're going to work out as you do a horse, if you raise the horse.
Charlie, himself a former champion roper and steer wrestler, founded 4L Rodeo in 1985. Since then, the company has grown dramatically, from 5 small productions in its first year to now producing 25 events annually, everything from high school rodeos to professionally sanctioned events. In 2009, the Lowrys expanded their operation even further by partnering with Diamond S Bucking Bulls in Weatherford, Texas. That partnership resulted in the Lowrys providing stock for the more recognizable rodeos, such as the PRCA Extreme Bulls Tour and National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas.
Well, it's grown a lot. There's a lot more rodeos than there used to be. It's become a more popular event, I think, and it's a lot more money, a lot more sponsors in it now, a lot more money to be won as far as a contestant. So it's really been a lot better for everybody. We hear, young kids a lot, I want to be a stock contractor, and I just tell them, well, you better be ready to work. We're in this is our livelihood. There's people in this business that make money other way, and then the stock contracting business is just kind of a hobby. And I've told committees for years, if I go talk to them about having a rodeo, I'm not here today and gone tomorrow. I'm in this for the long run.
I mean, like for us, it's about taking care of us. We want to do a good job at the rodeos that we do. We put a lot into it. We work at it every day, and you do a good job, it takes care of itself.
Arguably, one of the biggest misconceptions about the rodeo business is that the animals are treated poorly. Some groups going as far as saying the animals are abused or even drugged before competitions. Again, a misconception.
The flank rope that you put on the bulls, it don't hurt them in any way. It's just aggravation. It makes them kick. I mean, it's not tight. I mean, it's snug, but it's not tight. It don't hurt nothing. And they got a pretty good life. I mean, they hang out, they eat every day, they lay around, they go to the rodeo, and they have to perform for about 8 seconds, 10 or 15 times a year. Sure. And the rest of the time they're hanging out. It sounds pretty easy to me. It don't sound real like they're very mistreated.
We feed them every day. As you can see here, they have good grass. We feed them grain every day. We deworm them. We give them the shots they need to keep them healthy. Anytime we go out of state, we have to have health papers on them, and I mean, they have to be healthy or they won't perform. They're just like an athlete. If an athlete's not in shape and healthy, and he can't perform, and this livestock's the same way. And we love animals. If we didn't, we'd be in another business.
Time for our final break. Up next, faith, family, farming, and U.S. registered Holsteins. Why this LIZELLA dairyman and pastor calls it the perfect cow.
Farmers across America rely on federal crop insurance to protect against losses from volatile markets and natural disasters. Well over 90% of America's principal crops are federally insured. But dairy farmers also have several insurance options available to them. One option is Dairy Revenue Protection, or DRP. Since it was rolled out in 2019, Dairy Revenue Protection has become popular with farmers, covering more than 25% of all U.S. milk production in its first year. This policy provides protection against an unexpected decline in revenue, yield, or price on the milk produced from dairy cows. DRP covers the difference between your final revenue guarantee and actual milk revenue during each quarter of the year. DRP is an excellent risk management tool for dairy producers, providing peace of mind during unpredictable market fluctuations. DRP is available for purchase from a livestock-approved insurance provider. You can find a crop insurance agent using the Agent Locator tool on the Risk Management Agency website at www.rma.usda.gov.
Finally this week, from our friends at Holstein Association USA, the incredible heartfelt look at DONACIN Dairy in LIZELLA, Georgia. A look at how farming and faith go hand in hand for the Newberry family, and why owner Benjamin Newberry feels passionate about the future with U.S. registered Holsteins.
I'm here today because of the opportunity that my dad gave me to be a part of DONACIN Dairy. My grandparents bought this place. It adjoins the original home place where it all started 4 generations ago. When they moved here, they began working with registered cattle, registered Holsteins. My dad joined in '74. My uncle later joined the partnership. And in '98, my dad offered me 1/3 of the partnership to stay here and farm with him. Being a grazing operation where cows are out on pasture all day, during the summer it's, make hay when the sun's shining. And of course, when my great-grandfather started, it was milking in a flat barn and a stanchion barn, and they were toting milk to town in 10-gallon cans. And so the Holstein was definitely the cow that could put the most milk in the tank or in the cans, either way you want to look at it. My grandfather, when he brought the farm to our current location, they really got into improving genetics and enjoyed showing and continued to work along those lines. A lot of times we look at value as a dollar amount. Why that's important. The value of the registered Holsteins, for me, has been more than a dollar bill. It's been about the relationships. It's been about the people. So the paper has increased value to my cows, but it's also given value to me and to my family and to the friendships that we've made. It's not just the marketing side of it, where people know what they're getting on that paper, but really the value of friendships that we created through the black and white cow. In January, I was actually on part of the farm, and God had kind of stirred in my heart again that, I want you to do more than milk cows, and went on and pastored a small church out in the country. When God called me back closer to home to Calvary Baptist Church, that's where me and my family have been currently serving. We average around 85 people on Sunday morning worship. Just a really good group of people that love the Lord and enjoy one another's friendship and fellowship, and God's been doing some amazing things there for us. I think a lot of it's been about being there for people in times in their life when it seems like the world is crumbling. And so I've enjoyed my time to be able to help people grow. We benefit because people show up. You don't call, you don't ask, they show up. That's part of who we are as Holstein breeders, as dairymen, and that's one of the benefits that you get is when you need something, people know you need it and show up at the right time. I really believe that the Holstein Association is going to continue to help dairymen thrive in the future just through the data collected from years of great breeders before me and making not only the Holstein cow the world's most perfect cow, but through that data and through those genetics, I believe that the association is preparing us well for the future and what lies ahead.
Wow, great story. Our thanks again to Holstein Association USA for that. Before we go, a friendly reminder that for all the latest ag news regarding food, recipes, and what's happening on Georgia farms, be sure you check out all our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Farm Monitor.
Stay safe. Have a great week.